I always forget the name of it. The other one on the south, on the other side. Oh, I can never remember.
So eloquent, but it is going to be OUG that we're following along with, running the Tessa, Wuchen, and Viper. This isn't that big point composition. That's their Sand Siphon. Sand Siphon was what they picked up, the 30 bomb and the 20 bomb. So potentially quite a game for OUG to start off with. Is looking over to the first fight. It's going to be JDG versus J-Team. Lee already incredibly low. However, PP for JDG also already down. That being said, JDG's Kiki coming in with those dual blades and absolutely wrecking two players of J-Team in one go. And that is going to have to be a full disengagement for the remaining Farrier. It's heading over to Imperial. TE just looting up at the moment, not really wanting to take a fight since LYD, that Yueshen still does not have armor. You haven't really been able to find the best loot. This is a Model War, so the loot rarity on the overmap is increasingly smaller than it is in your regular ranked and unranked. It's over towards City of Tank. We've got a fight breaking out over here as BBE and EWG are going head-to-head. Tessa ultimate comes on through. Nice little cover of the Yoto F2 to make sure that they can't actually interact with the urn to be able to cancel out that enchantment, as 14 just continues to throw out the fan RMB on repeat, catching the back and trying to scoop some of these players in, since the other players are playing more forward and locking them into that light stagger, and there is no way that they can parry the fan as a result. Fan's such a strong weapon, both in solos and trios, for how quickly those focus attacks hit.
Well, FPX found themselves in a fight here versus Alliance, but with the Vane's breath coming down, Alliance are going to have to full disengage from this. Do not want to be fighting on unfavorable terms, but Bo gets struck immediately there. I believe another member of Alliance also got themselves caught out, as FPX able to take down the kill onto Lian, taking them out, as now keeping the pressure up onto Revenge. Revenge losing that armor very, very quickly, as three members of FPX just hounding them down. Lovely little parry coming in from Dongqing. Gets the vertical strike as well there from the longsword onto him. Now it's just Bo left standing on his lonesome. He will be not long for this world, although he does get himself a nice amount of damage off on to Dongqing. Strips away using the fan beautifully. He might be able to trade this out at least 3 for 1, but it's looking rough. It's looking hard. He's still holding fast, going low. Down he goes. Dongqing's able to secure that one and finish it up. That was really, really well played by Bo. And hats off, honestly, to Alliance, because these guys have been a bit of a meme for the longest time. But this season, it's like they get their Weetabix before every show, man. They are so ready to play. And they have these games where they look so, so good. They've still got a ways to go, but there's a lot of strength in this Alliance roster right now, and I think we're going to see some really good stuff coming from them over time.
Yeah, really and if you're asking yourself why they're leaving the Soul Blooms, I direct your attention to the top right of the screen chat. We are not currently playing on live patch, which means that Soul Blooms do not yet have that 2-minute lockout timer. So for all of these teams that are picking up these early kills, they can still leave those blooms as insurance to take the first realm of Yang. And if they do lose, they can reset the Soul Altar, backtrack over, grab those bodies, and instantly cleanse that debuff without having to worry about over-aggressing, staying in fights a little bit too long, and going out of the lobby regardless. Really can't wait until we do actually see that patch coming on through. That's going to be coming in bi-weekly free. We'll be heading over to live, which means that glyphs will change entirely. A lot of those Immortal War new rules will come into play as well. The Soul Bloom timeout will be very much a thing, as well as the aerial combos changing up. Although I don't think that's going to affect these players as much, considering they do all play on LAN already.
Yeah.
So TXJ taking a little bit of pressure from JDG. The Yodo does have the ultimate and the F2 variant, which is a little bit harder to be able to use, since you have to choose your window, throw it out prematurely, and then come in once with that second swing into the gold. And there it is, TXJ moving in for the kill. One target has been identified off of the back of that F2, but now he doesn't have the combo breaker. He's going to have to go for the ultimate, and he's not actually getting covered by his team currently. So he's going to go down to a bow shot coming through from 2-Tick. And without that Yoto, this Cannonball variant is just forced to use their own ultimates for themselves. VVV hops into his mech. FX inside that Terracotta Warrior, trying to pilot, find a stagger to set VVV up to be able to come in with a kill. It looks like PP is
there it is.
Choice, and that's exactly what has happened. VVV now outside of that mech. moves on over to be able to grab the reset off the Soul Bloom to get a little bit of extra health. Terracotta Warrior still on the field, but that's about to disappear, and Tutik is still going to have the ultimate. Tutik now with that staff and jabbing off of the back of it, instantly procs it onto FX, and that is Yueshan down. And even better for JDG, they do it before PP times out, so they don't even have to burn one of those rebuffs.
I really feel like that was a massive mistake from JL. They really positioned terribly for that fight, and you know, Yoto goes in. No one else.
This might have been an even bigger mistake. TXJ, I think, rezzed
next to J Team. They did.
No. TXJ rezzed, and I think was thinking about maybe Salty running that back because they managed to get the kill onto PP, and they knew that the Takeda ultimate would be running out.
Yeah, it looks like though with J Team, they were dissuaded from going for the Salty run back. I actually think that's probably in their best interest to have done that. So they're going to be A-okay. OUG getting themselves in a scrap here versus Wolves. EG getting a lot of work done there. The charm comes down from SS though, keeping the pressure up. But Wolves getting absolutely obliterated. ZK locked in place with the freeze. Not the freeze, sorry, with the charm, getting himself taken down. Here comes the Bane's Breath as well. This fight is just so one-sided for OUG. Able to take Wolves down like it is nothing.
That wasn't their Bane's Breath either. That was Wolves' Bane's Breath.
Oh, wow. Wolves really got clapped there. I mean, they kind of went down before the Bane's Breath even came up.
That's the problem. When you have one player like going to cast Bane's Breath, you can get interrupted on the cast of Bane, so you have to actually use the back player to be able to cast that one out uninterrupted. And they tried to send the Takeda after the Tessa, but OUG's SX actually does a really nice little bit of Tessa tech where he uses the gold on the Tessa ultimate to be able to dodge out of being hit into the uppercut confirm off of the Takeda engagement. So even though he doesn't catch the charm onto the Takeda, he still manages to stop himself from being comboed down. And as a result, you can see it right here when we look at OUG's POV, they do not have the Bane talismans around their players. In fact, it's Wolves who have the talisman around their players, and as a result, Egg Choice come back into this fight.
Oh, well, Wolves keeping the chase on. Charm comes out from SS. Trying to see if they can catch onto him here, but breaking away. OUG. I'm losing track of where they are, but there they are. Low HP. Doing some work with the bow now, just trying to finish up. Fortunately, our camera angle's not particularly showing us exactly where EG is, but falling from the sky, EG does go down, and OUG able to secure themselves that kill. I believe actually they did take the Soul Bloom there, so maybe even confidence, maybe they don't think they're going to be going.
They don't have a good comp.
No, they got a key. They're going to use that instead.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have a good comp for Realm of Yang, right? Tessa struggles into Realm of Yang, even TRIOS, because a lot of flat ground means that it's very easy for a lot of players to be able to just react, dodge. Yeah, the Tessa ultimate, it's another reason why she struggles in solos. Plus Wu Chen in Realm of Yang, he's sort of used for a lot of mobility to be able to sort of like disengage fights and then return back into them once you've still got ultimates and the other side doesn't. You can't really do that inside Realm of Yang since the area is so short in comparison to the full length that a Wu Chen TP can go to. Baige has jabbing. He's already going to reveal that, however, with that legendary staff, uses the Takeda ultimate activation to knock two players back. Will be able to as well try and proc the jabbing off of the Fear and Shove setup. He's not able to cancel one player getting into the Farrier mech, however, and this is what I was talking about. This line now starts to come in. That is Cannonball mech and Terracotta Warrior on the field for both of these players. WBG at the moment going to be setting up a scale rush coming in through from Baige, just looking to try and find some damage onto these players as well as avoiding all of that potential stagger from the Yueshan once the ultimate has run out. That's when we'll start to try and take this fight, and that time is now. Lee does manage to find a parry onto Sleepwalker, but I believe it's a 1 versus 3, and he's going to go down incredibly shortly as a result.
Yeah, it was a very, very one-sided fight there from WBG. Got to make that fight look really, really one-sided. Is OUG now getting them in a scrap versus EWG here. 14 low HP. They're just going to get the damage off onto him, knocking them back. Tessa Charm actually misses there from DRG, coming in as a third party, looking to tidy this one up. Wushin L98 loses a fair amount of HP as he almost is able to secure the kill for his team. Now turning their attention on actually to him. Trying to see if they can chase him down. Finding 14. 14's on the run. And now he is going down. Nothing he's going to be able to do about that one. DRG, beautiful little third party. Able to secure themselves. Just the one. Unfortunately, nothing more. but able to get themselves that 1 kill.
I mean, that is how the Viper variety composition is meant to play. You assassinate onto these teams that are already taking fights so that they don't see the Tesla ultimate coming. You find that connection, and then you just all in on one specific player. As opposed to Sand Siphon, where you just try and stay alive as much as you possibly can and keep the Takeda up. That's another jabbing on the field, this time for JDG's 2-tick. Going up against Bygate, who also has jabbing in the pocket. You can see how quickly it comes out. There is no visual cue either that attack is changed because of the Soul Jade. Both of these players now have seen it because both of them have been hit by it, so they both know it's on the field, and Bygate will be able to find a parry onto 2-tick, who does still have a backup staff, will be able to keep that one in the pocket. The Furin shoves, just isolating the other Takeda away as Kiki plays into the pocket and allows 2-tick to really come in with those massive hits. Zem also has jabbing in the back pocket. He's going to get stuck inside that Neslas, will be able to throw out his F to be able to just combo break outside of that one. And J-Team's Lee now onto the field inside the ultimate is going to look to try and isolate this Takeda down so that they can try and remove the damage hyper carry. They go after WBG's Akshao, who does fall. It looks like they actually decided to ignore the Takeda and go after one of the other players because they were on the cliff side. So as a result, the Takeda couldn't be able to connect the Furin shoves and push them far enough away to be able to combo afterwards. As Zem now with that Yoda ultimate is going to try and catch on to 2-tick. Going to use the TP to be able to keep the damage and isolation onto JDG's Kiki, who's looking to try and dodge around it, but Zen with some really nice holds will be able to find a lot of damage. Goes for the grapple lock onto the Takeda, trying to follow up with the R&B on the halberds with how fast those come out. This fight still ongoing. Lovely little bit of peel on the F to be able to cover for Lee, but unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. Kiki throws out the R&B on that fan and it catches him right in the face. And now it is just the Yoto who has to disengage as a third party comes through. WPG and JDG now going head-to-head. 2-tick, the only remaining player for JDG at the moment, just trying to play inside that Tumult ultimate as JL show up for the party as well.
There's just so many people. I don't even know what teams were fighting there. There's just a million people fighting in the area. Unfortunately for J-Team, that went really bad really quick as they did lose 2 players. I'm not sure they're even going to be able to get their UA Sham back. So it looks like it's probably just going to have to be a matter of hopefully having enough money in the inventories to buy the rebirth charms and then reviving your team from there. Yep, that looks to have been the game plan here from Zem. Able to get back. Were they able to get back both? Or is it just going to be LXY? Sorry. Yeah, it looks like it's just LXY.
Yeah.
Have no more money, so they're just going to rely on the Uashan and the Yoto. Maybe try and see if they can salvage together a couple more Dark Tide coins and then translate that into another rebirth. It's going to be interesting, the value of Dark Tide coins going forwards, because like you're saying, the next patch as well, a major change is we're going to be able to buy armor. And I feel for some of these teams who have been struggling with getting blue armor until the late game, where you're, as you can see with ZK losing all of his HP, does turn around onto Dongxing pretty well here. Here comes the follow-up. Down goes Dongxing. Okay, just ignore everything I said about blue armor. ZK is making it work with the Justina, getting the freeze. The uppercut comes in on to Xiaohu. Lost freeze just to finish this one. Funk with the staff, almost got the kill. Water now coming in to try and save the day. Another freeze breaking through. ZK is just keeping the pressure up. Water in danger. Down he goes. As ZK able to secure himself all of the work for his team there. Really, really beautiful play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Justina V1 freeze into jabbing is not fun for anyone. Like, jabbing comes out so quickly, it's such a good follow-up to getting caught in that ultimate. Like, it becomes a little bit problematic trying to get the freeze to connect onto Takeda because he just, like, shoves as a peel. But we saw just, like, the full all-in on the Takeda the second that they saw that shove go out. It's basically just calming, hey, Yuashan, get over here, keep this guy staggered. I'm going to be able to kill him once the hyper carry is gone, once we don't have to worry about being displaced when we go after those other players. Because Takeda in Sand Siphon, he can be used, like, super aggressively if you want him to be your hyper carry, but he can also be used incredibly defensively, right? Those Furin shoves, even if you get silenced or stunned by Viper ultimate, you can still throw those shoves out. So you can actually use them to sort of peel and provide a lot of spacing for things like your Tumult. And you can always see the teams that prioritize that style of play in the damage statistics because that Tumult will be the damage hypercarry instead. Speaking about hypercarry though, TXJ is a hypercarrying Yoto at the moment. Gorgeous V3 connecting and setting up so much damage. Unfortunately, it does not peel for VVV. As the Yoto ultimate goes through, DRG get the musket shot to connect, and TXJ now outside of that ultimate without a Fairy mech to drop for him is just oh so vulnerable and is immediately chunked down, as it looks like OUG have immediately won their Realm of Yang. Don't know if they got it for free. We do, however, know that WBG are currently fighting JDG for control of this one, as it is going to be Baige getting stuck inside that Tumult Wisp. Is he going to be able to use his ultimate? Yes, he just manages to pop it, and the knockback on the activation will be able to buy himself the spacing to get one reset off. Fear and Shove into jabbing follow-up. He gets hit by the Blistering Edge, however, which is going to be really annoying for him to try and receive that zip healing as a result. Now we're going to see him trying to just set up, goes for a jump parry. No one actually throws a blue into it. And as a result, he doesn't get the follow-up. So instead, he's just content to throw jabbing into the backs of these players as quickly as he possibly can. Dragon's Roar coming on out, locking down one player from JDG to tick the target of choice. We're overholding onto the blue, into the jabbing, onto JDG's PP, seeing whether or not he goes for that immediate parry. And as a result, WBG, Dragon's Roar, jabbing, and Takeda ultimate. Just too oppressive in controlling the space to be fought against.
That is the second time today. Well, I guess it's their first game, but that's the second Realm of Yang they've been able to pick themselves up. WBG starting to look really, really solid here. Really, really well played.
Hold on a moment, Jake. OUG won a realm and they picked Draco Storm.
So this has been interesting because some teams have decided that they prefer the Draco Storm over the Mystic Might. It's really, really interesting to see WBG take the White Tigers as well. So no one going Mystic Might, which has typically been the go-to for the second Realm of Yang. Obviously, there's been changes to Draco Storm coming into this season. So people are starting to maybe favor it a little bit more. I still think I prefer the Mystic Might. Information is very valuable, plus the damage reduction is really nice on it. But Draco Storm, to me, screams that you want to fight. And that's obviously what OUG are looking to do. OUG want to use that Draco Storm, use it aggressively, and take a fight here. You can see JDG doing a little bit of scouting out to see where they're going to go for the rebirth, but WBG are in the area with that Draco Storm. It's going to be very hard to fight them with that. J-Team actually sandwiching right now the position between that Soul Altar as well. So it could be very messy as OUG with this Draco Storm now. Going to look to pressure up here on to TE. Going to try and keep them pinned in place here with the Viper Stun. Able to make the connection. Hand goes down immediately. Zinyu now is looking to keep the pressure up on to the remaining members of TE. Slammed down there by the Yuei. In comes the transform on to the Cannonball from the Pharaoh there. Is Zinyu just breaking away, trying to find a position to heal, but Liu actually staying on top of them really, really well. OUG need to buy Zinyu a little bit of time so they can get that reset off, but with the health bar running low on the mech, this could get really nasty really quickly here for Leo. The grapple's coming in, but there's also a third party. JDG third partying once again, looking to slide in and get this one as Leo gets a beautiful parry off on the air into Zinyu. Able to keep the pressure up onto them though, but using that longsword really well. And JDG coming in for the third party. PP just slides in and takes the kill away. Massive denial onto OUG. Over the shoulder, Zinyu goes as he's going down the Wushen out to safety. They get Ubered out. JDG, all they're going to be able to do is just secure that one kill, but no annoying little third party from them. They're pulling them off really well today.
Yeah, Karumi Tavern onto Tutik as well on engagement, so he gets the damage reduction as well as that healing proc, so he can go aggressively in with the pole sword. It actually looked like it was a Tessa V1 enchant stun onto the Farrier mech that allowed SS to be able to recover. OUG are running the V3 variant of the Viper ultimate rather than the V1, which means that you do not get the 5-second stun. Instead, it is the silence on the charge up of the ultimate, which is really annoying for these cannonball compositions that like to be able to utilize their ultimates to be able to try and iframe around that Viper stun activation. JDG now, however, having to worry about being stuck in position between two different teams. There's that Karumi Tether immediately going to be snapped so Tutek gets the full 90% damage reduction and can go as aggressive as he chooses with this Takeda ultimate. They're having to go aggressive too because they're being absolutely barraged at the moment by cannonballs from all around. Ballista shots too coming on out. DRG trying to take the fight to JDG. JDG not really wanting to commit, especially now that the Wu Chen teleport has gone out. And it does look like DRG are not the ones with Ballista control because they actually teleported in front and further away from Ballista as opposed to closer to it. So we don't know currently which team are in control of that tower. But it's definitely not one of the teams that we can see currently taking fights. And with Ballista in power, it does look like JDG are just trying to take blindside. Alliance might actually be the ones with control of Ballista, and they will be able to find the kill onto Moonlight. They're running the Z-Ping variant of the Sand Siphon, which does do better than the Karumi once we do get towards those final zones, since final zone corruption tick damage entirely ignores armor. And one of the things that we started to see from the Karumi variant of Sand Siphon is that it's actually more common to take the armor circle rather than the health.
Yeah, that has actually been a really weird adaptation where for the longest time I don't think anybody really took that. Now, might have to hold that for because Alliance trying to take this more as blessing underneath the Ballista, which J-Team is standing on top of, and they just get it for free. Like, there was no contest coming in there from J-Team. Not even a cheeky Ballista shot. They got a swarm in there as well, so very, very effective in those final circles, the swarm. Kind of just cannon on steroids, basically. And we know the cannon's great. Unless you got really good soul jades for the cannon.
Sure, but it's not as effective as the Flamer, because Flamer goes for Yoto F.
Flamer is absolutely bonkers once you get into tight quarters, yes. Very, very rough, but lovely stuff coming in there from Wolves. Wolves got on their 6th kill of this game, actually. So they've been an interesting one because, obviously, I think, well, myself and Rune, and I think you as well, we've all been hyped on Wolves for quite a while. They started off really strong at the beginning of the split, and then kind of in classic Wolves fashion, haven't been as exciting as they were on their first day. But there's always that hope. There's always that, I guess hope is the word I was looking for. There's always just that lingering hope that maybe Wolves are going to pop off again. They're such a fun team to watch when they really get going. But it's been a hot minute since Wolves have, been able to take over lobbies. And I just think, when you got such stacked groups, and that's what I was talking about last bi-weekly, was how stacked the groups were. Like OUG, JL, WBG now joining into the fray, GG. To be fair, TE less so. TE obviously a shadow of their former selves, the shadow of the World Championship that they are. I was just talking about Wolves popping off and they take out JDG, who've actually been really, really consistent. But now they find themselves surrounded by WBG and JDG. Immediately Sleepwalker with the musket, able to take down Zem. So Wolves already missing a player, gonna have to just back off to safety. But ZK is going to pop the ultimate just so they can put some distance between them and everybody chasing. But this zone is starting to get small, and no Justina ultimate onto ZK is going to be a bit of a problem here for them. They're trying to break away, just going to use the dashes on the Justina. Got 2 more of them. As WBG doing a really good job of keeping on to ZK. They cannot find any respite. They can't find anywhere to get themselves to safety. As ZK finally able to get himself towards the buildings, but WBG on the hunt for EG, his last remaining teammate, as EG loses all of his armor. His health is going low. I don't think he's going to be able to survive this for long. WBG able to secure that kill for them with the nunchucks. The final member of Wolves left on their own as the rest of the pack is down.
Oh, someone from WBG's got Storm Stride. Man, that Soul Jade, it can do so much. It can also kind of group you though, because Storm Stride has a really fun mechanic where if you actually get a parry on a player, Storm Stride can sometimes knock the player that you parried out of parry follow-up range. So you don't always get the follow-up damage as a result. Whether Wolves are going to be able to live is now going to be determined on whether or not the Justina gets spotted out. I do believe they're hiding inside one of the purple bushes. It looked like they were trying to... Ooh, Bane's breath.
Oh, he's dead. He's dead.
He's dead. Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, the flamer. Yeah, and just put him on the Barbie.
Oh, these Banes have not been messing around. Yesterday's solo matches, like 5 players died to Bane's Breath. It was really quite something. Like Spider was using Bane's Breath to try and juggle players into it, and then Bane's Breath decided to hit where Spider was standing. Speaking about Bane's Breath hitting players where they're standing, Alliance's bow takes 1 knock. Lane also incredibly low. For the Tumult doesn't have to invest the ultimate to be able to disengage securely, so at least they don't have to worry about being run on top of. Unfortunately, JDG's PP does get run over, and I do believe that is all of the players for JDG down, which is rather unfortunate considering that they'd already picked up 14 kills. Unfortunately for them, that score multiplier is not really going to be making those 14 kills work out for them in the long run. OUG, however, is still very much alive with 12 kills. They don't have Jin Yu. Yu does have the teleport available to him. Whether or not he's going to be able to find the spacing to be able to connect the corpse, yet there it is. That's why we didn't immediately see the teleport come through. He was just setting up to be in distance of the Ken. Lovely armor swap as well coming on through to be able to drop the purple armor and give it over to Jin Yu when he's incredibly low after having come out of that resurrection. And now OUG, because of that, will be able to keep their Viper alive and deal with the pressure coming on through from Alliance as on repeat throwing out the Phoenixes just to try and buy spacing, push some of these teams away and allow OUG any sort of terrain to be able to reset and recover, as it looks like off of the back of that, Alliance lick their wounds, reset, and look to re-engage.
Yeah, it looks like OUG are being absolutely cooked as well in this corner. Yeah, and able to take 1 kill down with the cannon. Quick work of them off the back of that one. And Moxie, there's only 10 players left and 4 minutes left. This has been a very, very empty lobby at the end. A lot of kills, a lot of aggression. Meaning, but we've actually got, you know, it's a small zone because of the final zone circle positioning in this village. But at the same time, it's been Xinyu going down. First of all, down he goes. Revenge able to secure that kill. Alliance, 5 kills on the board. They are popping off, and we haven't really talked too much about the kills here. OUG have only got 1 player left standing for them, but they have 12 kills. WBG though, full team standing, 11 kills in their pocket. J-Team, with the 3 kills, have been able to keep 1 player left standing alone. And they are just playing for placement at this point, as we're seeing if anybody is going to be able to handle this one. Lil just hanging out inside that building, staying away from the action. And honestly, with 3 minutes left and just the amount of terrain, this could still drag on just a little bit more, because it's very hard to actually really find a weakness and find an opening on an enemy. But as Lian actually loses a lot of HP there, Balgay just keeping the pressure up onto them. The gold armor not really lasting all that well here. It's going to do a bit, but wow, what a turnaround onto WBG. They lose a fair amount of HP. Bo now also under a bit of threat, but WBG, that flamer is really starting to mess them up. Balgay, low HP. Down he goes with the bow. Revenge able to secure the kill onto him, as now Exile, he is on his own, running away from the members of Alliance, who are just going to keep the pressure up onto him. Down he goes. He's cooked. And it is just them hanging about. OUG have you and J-Team have little, and that is it. That is it.
Leo was still in the bush, by the way. He was still inside that invisibility bush the entire time.
Beautiful position in there. He has been spotted? Yeah, he's been spotted.
He's been spotted. He doesn't have his ultimate, unfortunately. Alliance have absorbed all of the soldiers of the teams that they've knocked out. By the way, they have OUG's Phoenix to be able to just blitz these players and just ragdoll them off of that hit into corruption tick damage, so that they get pushed back, have to expend all of the stamina to be able to dodge out of the corruption and go straight into the flamer. This is what I was talking about, right? Swarm is good, but flamer is S tier when it comes to just controlling all of the spacing of final zone. For OUG's, you just having to go as aerial as possible to be able to stay away from it for as long as he possibly can, utilizing the Wu Chen F just to hold that gold focus a little bit longer. But unfortunately, like Icarus, well, actually the opposite of Icarus, he doesn't fly too close to the sun, he flies too close to the ground. He gets hit by that flamer, as poor Wolf ZK tries to go for the free shell on that Justina just to try and live a little bit longer, but that just makes him too static for the flamer to be able to connect and absolutely toast through that water. As now Sleepwalker is the target of choice. It's just clean up on aisle 3, and Alliance with 11 kills will be the last team standing. Whether or not they've done enough for the MVP